Hey guys, welcome back to Sip and Dip with Chelsea. Today we are trying out new dip powder liquids from Marullo Nail Co. Shout out to Chelsea for sponsoring today's video, sending me over these brand new liquids to try out and all of these gorgeous goodies. Check out how stunning her jars are. I'm obsessed with them. I featured her a few times on my channel because her products are truly unique. Just like this glitter, it is jam-packed full of glitters, foils, these cute flower pieces, but this is the one that truly stands out. These are her Terrazzo toppers, so you can put them all by themselves or on top of color. We're going to dive more into that later, but the star of the show are these liquids. I really love that they come in this handy box here and they have the divider, so I know they're packaged safely and securely. She gives such a big brand energy, and that's the only way I can describe her company. Everything is so gorgeous, so cohesive. I grabbed the jar here so you can see she's got her name on there, the branding, the label, the colors, the whole vibe of this is just stunning. So her liquid set includes the bond, so you'll use that during prep. You're also going to get the other standards, which are the base liquid, the activator, and the top coat. I really appreciate that she includes a bond because not a lot of dip powder sets do, so that's going to be perfect for your prep. My first impressions of the bottles were that they were very sturdy and heavy, so I don't think I'm going to have any issues with accidentally tipping them over. They also have stoppers on the inside, which is really going to help with liquid control. First up is the bond. So this is what we're going to use to cleanse our natural nails of any oil or anything left on them before we get started. Next, I grabbed my dip base and I went ahead and poured some clear out into a cupcake liner. I'm going to be building up a little slight apex on my natural nails because they are getting pretty long. Right off the bat, I could just tell I was going to love this liquid because it is very thin. If you know me, you know I love a thinner natural look. So I've got just a tiny bit on my brush and I'm going to do a small stripe down the center of my nail, dipping into the clear dip powder. It has a medium dry time, so it dries down pretty quick. This is one of Chelsea's dusting brushes, so we're just going to dust off that excess powder and go in for our second coat. The second coat, we're gonna make sure we remove that excess liquid because it is a thinner consistency, so that's important. And we're gonna go just a little bit further back and a little bit more on the sides, just gradually building up that arch on the natural nail. You totally don't have to do an apex, but some reasons why you might want to is if you have flat natural nails or you experience a lot of cracking and chipping or perhaps longer natural nails. There's a lot of great reasons why you should. And the perfect thing with these thinner liquids is you're not going to get too bulky and you can still add lots of layers for strength. Layer number 2 is done and it is already dry, so I'm going to dust it off and go in with Dewdrop. So I actually decided to put these to the test on the dry time. I wanted to do an ombre. So I have my 2 little makeup brushes here. The thing with ombre is the further away that you tap the brush, the more sparse and spread out the powder is going to be. So if you want to have more control or have a tighter line, then you would tap and hold the brush closer to the natural nail, which is my personal preference. Removing that excess liquid again before I get started. This time I'm only going to go just slightly further back again and then a little bit more on those sides. So we are gradually building up that strength in the arch, and I left this part in real time so you can see how slowly I'm moving. I'm just tapping the powder on the free edge, slowly going side to side, rolling my finger, building up a little bit of that color opacity there on the free edge, and then I'm going to check it out, see if I'm happy with the line. You'll see I go at a different angle, so I'm really making sure I get to those sidewalls, and if I am, so look right here, I'm like, okay, it looks great. I'm going to tap it off now in a downward motion, then I grab my clear and my other brush, and at this point I'm just making sure I get it on the liquid before it dries, so just tapping it on, going all the way over to those sidewall areas, and then when I tap off the excess, what I'm looking for here is that I have no bare spots, and as you can see, I was able to get the powder on completely before the liquid dries. So I do feel as though this is the perfect blend of a medium to fast dry time. Now I'm going to dust it off and go in for layer number 2. Layer number 2 will be a full coat coverage. So I'm going to put that liquid all the way to the sidewalls, all the way back towards my cuticle area, and then repeating those same steps, just making sure I get the powder from that free edge to the side areas and just rolling my finger side to side, slowly adding on powder. I don't want to go too far back, especially because I'm using clear dip powder in the other area. Once I'm happy with it, then I'm going to tap off the excess in a downward motion, grab that clear, and quickly get it on before the liquid dries. Once I fully cover the nail in the clear dip powder and tap off the excess, I'm going to grab my precision tool, also from Chelsea as well, and clean up around my cuticle area to make sure I have that crisp, clean look. You can see I do have a beautiful, full, even coverage again. If for some reason you're not loving it, you can easily fix it by just adding a little bit of that powder. You're basically getting that pigment, and you're just going to gently scrub it into the spots that you're wanting more of or a better blend of, and that is how quick and easy you can just fix it. All right, ombre test number 1 is done. All we have left to do is a full coat again on top and then dip into the clear dip powder. So this is going to protect that ombre when we go to file, shape, and buff. And you will see they are beautiful at the end. They are not too bulky. I have shown you, I've done all of these layers and it still looks so natural, and I have all the strength where I need it. I've got that beautiful natural arch going on, and that is because these liquids are a thinner, easy to use consistency. Next up, I'm going to be playing with Irish Julep. It is such a stunning green shade. I'm going to grab a new brush for this color here, and I do want to do another ombre nail. So we're going to repeat the same steps of just gradually building up that arch and strength with our base liquid, and then quickly dipping our brush into the powder and tapping it on the free edge. Now the next layer is going to be a full coat. I want to point out how beautifully these brush bristles fan out. I applied some pressure on them just to see, and it really applies beautifully on the nail. So far, I know that this base liquid is a thin consistency, which I personally love, and I also know that it is a medium to fast dry time, but you are still 100% able to do designs, and that just shows it with this ombre. Now next, we're going to clear encapsulate to protect it, and we're going to move on to doing some solid colors. So I grabbed French Kiss, which is her pure white. I'm going to gradually build up again with my base liquid, just doing a hairline more on the side walls and back towards the cuticle area, and pour the white over top. White can be notoriously difficult to use, so I'm gonna pour it over so I get a beautiful even coverage just like this. Really appreciate that I don't have to wait around for it to dry, so I'm able to just dust it off and keep on going. So this is going to be my full coat. So I'm gonna do a full coat of my base liquid all the way to those sidewalls and cuticle area, and then again pouring the white over top. I'm just going to clean it up, make sure I don't have anything on my skin, and I love that I can go in right away and dust it off. Next, y'all, is for the fun part. It is the Coconut Grove Terrazzo topper. It is so much fun. She has so many of these unique combinations on her website. You'll have to check them out. I'm going to pour this out into a cupcake liner. My personal preference is this because I feel like I have more control, and if you shake it up like this, it will pull up all of those beautiful pieces to the top. So if you want a jam-packed look, you can shake it, or you can go in over here where you have a little bit more clear. So normally at this point, I would do a full layer of my base liquid and dip into clear dip powder, except this time we're going to dip into this Terrazzo topper. It will serve as our encapsulation layer. I know what you're thinking, it sounds crazy, but y'all, it works. So we're gonna lay our nail flat into this Terrazzo topper, make sure we have everything laying down flat, and then clean up anything that we have on our skin. I'm going to dust it off because it dries pretty quick, and then working in sections. I'm gonna use this end of my precision tool and apply some base liquid in my sparse areas, picking up those little pieces and laying them where I'd like them. I went ahead and applied a lot. I really want it jam-packed full because you are going to lose some of them when you file, shape, and buff. I wanted to show you a little side profile shot because I learned this trick on her website where you apply a layer of your base liquid on top of the topper, and it's basically going to help fill in and protect it when you file, shape, and buff without having to do an entire layer of clear on top. So once that dries, then we can go in with the activator, but look at what a difference that made already in making everything a smooth surface. While that dries, I'm just going to move on to the other nails. And y'all, this is so unlike me, but I went nail by nail, just deciding during the manicure. Usually I have a game plan before I start filming, but I was just vibing with it and just going with the flow and letting the colors speak to me as I was doing it. I really enjoyed these liquids. I love her products already, and I know this has been such a journey for her to create this liquid set. We have been talking about this for like a year, so I knew this was coming, and I can't be any more proud and excited for her because, Like I said, she has created such a unique brand concept. These terrazzo toppers are incredible, something I've never seen before. I've preached about her many a times in my videos, and I really do mean every word. If you know me, you know I use a certain type of liquid, and that's usually a thin consistency, a medium dry time. So I know liquids are very much so personal preference, and y'all, she has nailed it for my own. Now that I'm done with this base liquid, it's important that I take care of them before I seal it up. So we're going to clean it off, make sure we don't have any of that excess liquid up there on the rim. If you see any shine, just use a lint-free wipe or a napkin to remove it before sealing them shut, so that next time when you go to open them, they're not glued shut. Now it's time for activator, so I'm just going to apply a generous layer of this to each of the nails and wait 2 minutes for it to properly harden and dry before I go into file, shape, and buff. So basically what I'm looking for at this point with this particular step is that it does what it's supposed to. I don't have any gummy spots or any jelly spots, and that when I go to file, everything works out, and it did. I know this is gonna look crazy, but y'all, we're gonna go right in with the buffing block on top. This is why I was saying I added a ton to my nail, because when you go in to smooth everything out, you are gonna lose some of the ridges, anything that's sticking up, and you're gonna create that smooth surface. But what's amazing about this particular dip powder is it doesn't remove any of the color, just like you would if you buffed on a glitter piece, it would turn silver. Well, not with this. Look at how nice and smooth it is, and I still have all of that beautiful terrazzo look. Now that I'm done filing and shaping, I'm just going to dust it off and go in for my second layer of activator. The second layer is another generous layer, and then wait 2 minutes before going in for top coat. After 2 minutes have passed, I'm going to use a dry lint-free wipe to rub it across the entire top surface to make sure I don't have any leftover activator residue before going in with top coat. So for top coat, I personally do 3 quick strokes on the nail, and that's it. I did ask her about her instructions, and she is the same, which I love. So her instructions also state to do 3 quick strokes on the nail, and y'all, my mind was blown. It was already dry. By the time I got to my thumb, already dry. Now we can go in for our second coat. The second coat is more precise, more detailed, getting all the way to those sidewall areas, and this coat dried super fast as well. So if you hate waiting around for your top coat to dry, you won't have that issue with this one. Now that I'm done, I'm just going to clean it all off just like before to make sure I don't contaminate it or that it doesn't get sealed shut. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for supporting my channel, and equally, I love supporting your business. You have come up with some truly easy to use, beautiful formula liquids, and of course, those unique terrazzo dip powders that I love. And I hope you guys get to enjoy them and try them out too. They check off all of my boxes. They're thin, easy to use. You don't have to wait a super long time for them to dry, and check out that top coat shine. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all next week.